Want to update you now on more breaking news this morning. In the last hour, a grand jury indicted Brian Kohberger on charges connected to the deaths of 4 college students in Idaho. The alleged Idaho killer was studying criminal justice as a graduate student in Washington State when those 4 students were brutally murdered in November. It is not currently clear on what charges the grand jury indicted him on. However, we know in December, prosecutors announced that he was facing 4 counts of first-degree murder and burglary. I want to bring in Joshua Ritter now, a criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor and host of the True Crime Daily Sidebar podcast. I think to clear up any confusion for people at home, they may be asking, I thought he was already charged with these 4 murders. He was arrested. He's in custody. What does this part of the process mean?
Yes, he was charged. So he was charged through a criminal complaint, but what they have to do is go what's called a probable cause hearing. Usually that's a preliminary hearing. We had that scheduled for June. A grand jury is another way of doing that, and this supersedes that the need to have that preliminary hearing now. So that preliminary hearing will be taken off calendar. And what this was essentially just a way to prove to the grand jury that there was enough evidence to hold him to answer for the crimes that he was charged with. He will now be charged in an information and then face trial. It's a lower standard, so it's not beyond a reasonable doubt, but it's now formally holding him to answer for trial for these murders, if that's in fact what he was indicted for.
So this indictment, we expect, Joshua, will be released publicly, potentially today. What will it include? What will we see?
I imagine it'll see what we saw in the complaint. I imagine it will be those same charges of murder. It's just now that the indictment is going to be released, and soon thereafter, the transcripts from the grand jury will likely be unsealed, and we'll get a better idea of what the evidence is that the prosecution has. It's unfortunate for those watching and spectators that they won't be able to see a live prelim of that evidence presented, but at least those transcripts will at some point become available so that we understand what we expect to hear from testimony at trial.
Right, but what they won't include is much of the evidence that prosecutors shared with the grand jury.
Yeah, a lot of that will remain under seal. And in this case, the judge has a gag order in place. So a lot of that won't be shared by the attorneys themselves. So unfortunately, we're still going to be operating under much of a curtain until we actually get to the trial in this case.
And speaking of the trial, how does this impact that timeline?
It will probably speed things up. I imagine that the defense is now going to say that they need ample time to go through the grand jury testimony, to go through the evidence that was presented, whatever kind of exhibits were presented. But we're not now having that additional step of having the preliminary hearing. So now we're on the track to the next big step is just to have that trial. And I expect that that would probably happen sooner than had we gone the more traditional route of through a prelim.
And who benefits more the longer it takes to get this to trial, to gather evidence and go through that next step?
You know, you always kind of defer to the idea that the delay benefits the defense because people's memories fade and their ability to kind of recount events. But in this case, you know, they've now preserved all of that testimony in this grand jury. I think this grand jury benefits the prosecution because the defense, most importantly, didn't have an opportunity to cross-examine anyone during this hearing or present their own evidence. So they would have been able to kind of test this testimony a lot more at prelim, and they won't have that opportunity now.
And a judge will have a lot of oversight in terms of what is shared publicly. Will cameras be allowed in the courtroom? What do we know moving forward in this case that the public can expect to see and hear?
It's unfortunate, but this judge has put in place a very strong gag order, which you don't often see, which has really hamstrung the ability of anyone to share information, even people who are kind of tangentially connected to the case. So if that's a preview, then it might be the case that we won't have cameras in the court because it's unfortunate with a case of this, a much public intrigue. It just adds a layer of transparency that we would hope to find.
All right, Joshua Ritter, criminal defense attorney. Appreciate you being with us this morning. We'll continue to follow this major update in this case as this tragedy proceeds forward.